quite a shocking story for you now. This one really got us going this morning, in our discussion. It's quite complicated, this story, Jane, isn't it? So,
as these things always are. There's a couple who, they've already got a child together by IVF. They have an IVF egg, fertilised egg, the pair of them sitting in a clinic, frozen. They split up. She forged his signature to get the egg released, got pregnant, and sent him a text saying, "I'm pregnant." He then sued the clinic to say, "I wasn't aware of this, you've implanted this without my permission or my signature." So it's very complex. The judge has ruled that whilst he says that the mother resorted to desperate, dishonest measures, but he said the clinic is not negligent because he said that they had an express obligation to the man not to do this, but they were entitled to believe that the signature on the consent form was his. So the clinic are not negligent. Also, the separate issue is that a child is seen as a blessing and not a financial liability. So morally, the judge has kind of said to the dad, "Look, you've been duped here," but in the law,
there's nothing you can do about it.
We're not going anywhere with this. I think he might appeal.
I think it's outrageous what she's done. You know, and I like to support women, but I think that's absolutely
Well, you know, when you see
awful.
those stories where you see a desperate woman who wants to have a baby and her ex won't release permission for the egg, you see those a lot that go to court because she's obviously going through the legal route and saying, I need his permission. This woman just went...
Yeah, but you're saying that they have got one child already?
Yeah, they've got a child together, which was an IVF baby, I believe.
Yes. You can't believe it, can you?
But I just think...
It's wrong.
To text him... Well, it's illegal, isn't it, to forge somebody's signature?
I mean, on her part, it's wrong. I wonder what the fallout's going to be. I mean, you know, we're not allowed to forge signatures, are we, on official documents?
No. But how did that happen at the clinic? How could that happen when he's not present? That's what I don't understand.
Well, because I presume the clinic didn't know, you know, this is all supposition, but going through it, if the clinic had been deemed to not be negligent, then they probably just thought that they were still together and that because they'd already had a baby through the clinic, that the signature still stood.
The thing is, the judge said, you know, the children are a blessing, true, and shouldn't be treated as a financial liability. And yet it will be a financial liability because he is now responsible for financially supporting that child. Who I'm sure he says, you know, he loves the child, but he struggled with that to start with,
which
understandably,
is I think. But it's in a way, it's a moral case because in law, a child it's not the child's fault, so a child should not be financially deprived.
But is that... Do you think that maybe there's something where fathers get treated very differently to mothers? And had this been, I know it's physically impossible, but had it been a woman had done that to a man, or it had been done to a woman, sorry, do we not think there would be more law in place and more support for that person? I just don't see that fathers and men, when it comes to children and law, get the same treatment as women. I think it's very difficult for the father.
I think it's just where legislation doesn't keep up with medical breakthrough, you know, because we're still operating on... And you just think, well, how simple is it to just make it the law that in this situation, a clinic, every time an egg is released, has to see the couple physically in front, like when you buy a house or...
With ID. If you're going to adopt, you'd both have to be present.
You have to sign in front of witnesses.
But she's done something unlawful, which in turn he has suffered for, emotionally and financially.
But the ruling is that's not the clinic's fault.
But it must be her fault. Is she not? Somebody's got to be liable. I mean, this man had no knowledge whatsoever that this was going to happen, and I just find it baffling that everyone goes, "Oh, sorry, nothing we can do here. Good luck."
He has been told he can appeal.
Yeah.
So, but if that's the law, like you said, it's a very grey area, isn't it? If the law is and it's considered a blessing, you know, at the end of the outcome is a wonderful, healthy baby. But I still think that he didn't want...
It's a very, very cynical... she's a teacher, this woman. I hope she's not a teacher in ethics.
Yes. True. Good point. Good point.